Ladies and gentlemen, collectors and treasure hunters, welcome back to ultra-rare US coins. Today, I need you to stop what you are doing, because what you are about to see is not just any ordinary pocket change story. This is a journey into hidden history, locked inside two of the rarest Washington quarter dollars that America has ever seen. Imagine holding in your hand a small piece of silver, dull in appearance to the untrained eye, but carrying within it the power to change a person's life forever. Imagine a simple quarter dollar that once passed through everyday hands in grocery stores, theaters, and diners of the early 20th century. And now, decades later, that very coin is worth not pennies, not hundreds, not even thousands, but tens of thousands of dollars, more than what most people dream of saving in years of hard work. In today's video, I'm going to take you into the story of two ultra-rare Washington quarters that have shaken today's auction markets. These coins are treasures that collectors fight fiercely for, and their demand keeps rising every single day. If you think rare coins are just collectibles, prepare yourself, because after you hear this, you will realize you are looking at wealth, history, and prestige, all melted into pure American silver. Stay tuned, don't blink, and don't skip ahead, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why owning even one of these coins feels like holding a fortune in your very own pocket. Let's begin with our first masterpiece of history. Coin number 1. When we step back to 1941, the world was at the edge of turmoil. America was preparing for what would become the defining years of World War II. In those tense and uncertain times, millions of everyday people carried Washington quarters in their pockets. They were more than coins. They were symbols of strength, of the enduring face of George Washington, guiding the nation through hardship. But hidden among those everyday coins, a very small number were struck so perfectly, so uniquely, that today they are considered national treasures. And one of them is this, the 1941 Washington quarter without mint mark, in a fine, brown-shaded condition. At first glance, you might think this coin looks ordinary, maybe even worn with age. But that's the trick. This coin's history is disguised under its humble look. The composition alone sets it apart. 90% silver, 10% copper. That was the standard at the time, giving it not only beauty, but real precious metal value. Unlike modern coins, this quarter wasn't just a piece of change, it was made to last, with silver that gleams even under decades of age. Now, let's talk about its unique features. This 1941 no mint mark quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. No mint mark at all, just a clean, untouched surface beneath Washington's portrait. Its brown shade today tells the story of natural aging, a patina that only decades of careful preservation can give. Collectors don't see discoloration here, they see character, the fingerprint of time. Every shade of brown, every slight mark, is a reminder that this coin has traveled through history, but somehow survived in remarkable condition. And here's where the suspense deepens. Why is this particular coin so rare? The answer is survival. While millions were minted, very few escaped melting, circulation, and the wear of decades. Out of the countless coins struck in 1941, only an incredibly small handful remain in collectible condition, especially with this fine appearance and no mint mark. That makes this quarter a shining beacon for collectors across America. But the real shock comes when we talk about value. This coin today stands in the auction markets not as a small collectible, but as a treasure worth $85,000 in its current condition. Yes, you heard me correctly, $85,000 for a single quarter. That is not fiction, that is not hype. That is the real, current value as confirmed by today's auction houses and serious collectors. And the value is not stagnant. Every year, every auction, the demand grows. It is no longer just a coin. It is an asset, a rare piece of history that rises in worth as collectors fight to get their hands on it. Owning a coin like this isn't just having silver in your pocket, it's having big money, a treasure chest, a key to wealth that grows more powerful every day. Truly, if you hold this 1941 no-mint-mark Washington quarter in your collection, you're not just a collector, you are the guardian of a fortune. So what should collectors know? Here's the tip. Whenever you see a Washington quarter from 1941, check the mint mark carefully. Look at the details. If there is no mint mark, examine its condition with patience. Even a fine-grade coin like this has explosive value. Preserve it, protect it, and never underestimate it. This is the kind of coin that transforms ordinary collections into legendary ones. And in conclusion, this 1941 treasure is more than silver, more than a coin. It's an artifact of American endurance, a link to history, and today, one of the most desired Washington quarters in the collector's world. Remember, my friends, this is not luck, it's knowledge, patience, and faith in the power of rare coins. And here on Ultra Rare US Coins, I promise you nothing but faithful, truthful, and newly updated stories about treasures like this. Coin number 2. Now let's move forward. Just 3 years into 1944, America was fully engaged in World War II. Factories were producing war supplies at record speed, soldiers were overseas, and every American family was sacrificing for the cause. In those intense years, Washington quarters continued to circulate. Most of them were ordinary, but hidden in the flow of commerce. Certain coins became extraordinary treasures. Among them stands this masterpiece, the 1944 Washington quarter without mint mark, fine condition, carrying natural black and brown spotting across its silver surface. At first glance, those spots might seem like imperfections, but in reality, they are the beautiful signs of time. Each mark, each shade, is a natural fingerprint of history, proving this coin is untouched, genuine, and authentic. Collectors crave coins with this kind of aged beauty because no two are alike. This 1944 quarter wears its survival like a crown. Historically, it came from the Philadelphia Mint, with no mint mark at all. Like its 1941 predecessor, it was struck in 90% silver and 10% copper, a composition that holds not only aesthetic charm, but undeniable precious metal strength. And remember, this was a wartime coin. Every resource was precious. Every ounce of silver mattered. Yet here we are, decades later, holding this coin as proof of that era's resilience. Rarity is where the story explodes. Millions of 1944 quarters were minted, yes, but think of how many were worn into oblivion, melted down, or discarded without care. A coin like this, surviving nearly 80 years in fine condition, with natural toning, without a mint mark, it's beyond rare. It's a survivor, a champion of history, and today one of the most desirable quarters from the war years. And its value, brace yourself. This very coin, in today's market, holds a staggering $75,500. That is $75,500 for a single quarter. And again, this is no exaggeration, no fantasy. These are today's real auction values, prices that turn collectors into believers and ordinary finders into wealthy guardians of treasure. The price is climbing too. Demand is stronger than ever, and every year the rarity of surviving examples increases. This is a coin that doesn't just hold value, it multiplies it, silently growing more powerful in the vaults of collectors lucky enough to own it. For collectors, the tip is priceless. Check every 1944 quarter carefully. If it carries no mint mark, and shows the marks of age with dignity, black and brown spots, natural toning, and fine detail. Protect it at all costs. This is the kind of coin that elevates collections from ordinary to legendary. In conclusion, the 1944 no mint mark Washington quarter is not just a coin, it is wealth disguised in silver, a piece of America's wartime history preserved for eternity. And here on Ultra Rare US Coins, we bring you these faithful discoveries, keeping you ahead in the world of treasures. So there you have it, my friends, the two ultra-rare Washington quarters that are shaking today's auction markets. The 1941 no-mint mark quarter, commanding $85,000, and the 1944 no-mint mark quarter, holding strong at $75,500. Together, they prove one thing: never underestimate the power of what looks like ordinary change. Because in reality, these are not coins, they are treasures, wealth, and keys to fortune. And remember, these values are not just stable, they are rising. Day by day, the treasure grows. Owning one of these is like holding a future filled with wealth in your hand. This channel, Ultra Rare US Coins, is your faithful source for these discoveries, updated every single day. Stay subscribed, stay curious, and never stop searching. Because the next coin you find could be your treasure, your fortune, your story. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.